79 goals for Brazil, over 100 goals for 3 different clubs, Olympic gold, Champions League glory, 2 La Liga titles, 5 League One titles, but somehow the debate rages on, did Neymar fulfill his destiny? Today, we're diving deep into the career of football's most enigmatic superstar, and the answer might surprise you. Born on February 5th, 1992, Neymar da Silva Santos Jr. entered a world where football wasn't just a sport, it was a way of life. His father, Neymar Sr., a former footballer turned advisor, recognized something extraordinary in his son's eyes even before the boy could properly kick a ball. Life in those early years wasn't draped in glory. The family lived modestly, with Neymar Sr. working as a mechanic and later as a salesman to keep food on the table. But what they lacked in material wealth, they made up for in dedication to young Neymar's growing talent. Every evening after school, you'd find him in the streets or on makeshift futsal courts, perfecting those quick feet and lightning-fast reactions that would later become his trademark. The real turning point came in 2003, a year that would reshape not just Neymar's future, but Brazilian football history. The family's move to São Vicente brought young Neymar to Portuguesa Santista, but fate had bigger plans. Later that same year, they relocated to Santos, and suddenly, 11-year-old Neymar was walking the same halls that had produced the legendary Pelé. The combination of street football wisdom and formal academy training created something unique, a player who could combine Brazilian flair with tactical discipline. Success came quickly, bringing both opportunities and responsibilities. At just 15, Neymar was earning 10,000 reais monthly, more than most adults. By 16, that figure had skyrocketed to 125,000 reais, transforming the teenager into his family's breadwinner. While his peers worried about homework and video games, Neymar was already shouldering the dreams of his family and, unknowingly, an entire nation. At 17, when he signed his first professional contract, Santos wasn't just acquiring a player, but securing a piece of football's future. March 7, 2009, marked Neymar's professional debut. It was the moment Brazilian football found its new hero. In 30 minutes of play, he showed touches of brilliance that had the crowd at Vila Belmiro buzzing with excitement. But it was the following week that truly announced his arrival, scoring his first professional goal with the confidence of a veteran. The 2010 season turned promise into reality. On a warm April evening, Neymar produced a performance that would become legend. 5 goals in a single game against Guarani in the Brazilian Cup. Each goal showcased a different aspect of his genius. The quick feet, the explosive acceleration, the audacious skill, the clinical finishing. The Brazilian media exploded with excitement, and Europe's elite clubs began their courtship. Chelsea's £20 million offer seemed astronomical for a teenager, but Santos knew what they had, a gem still being polished to perfection. Then came 2011, the year Neymar transcended from promising talent to genuine superstar. The Copa Libertadores became his canvas, and he painted masterpieces. 6 goals throughout the tournament culminated in a crucial strike in the final against Peñarol, bringing Santos their first continental trophy since Pelé's era. His spectacular solo goal against Flamengo didn't just win him the FIFA Puskas Award, it announced to the world that Brazilian football had found its new standard bearer. The summer of 2013 brought the moment European football had been waiting for. Barcelona's pursuit of Neymar was the arrival of South America's most electrifying talent at football's grandest theatre. The initial announcement spoke of a €57.1 million deal, but like everything in Neymar's career, the reality was more complex. The eventual revelation of the true €86.2 million figure would later spark controversy and lead to the resignation of Barcelona's president Sandro Rosell, adding another layer of drama to an already compelling story. Neymar's Camp Nou debut captured everything that made him special. Wearing the number 11 shirt, he didn't just play, he performed. But it was the arrival of Luis Suarez in 2014 that completed the puzzle, forming what would become the most lethal attacking trio in football history. MSN. The 2014-15 season wrote itself into football folklore. The combination was perfect. Messi's otherworldly genius, Suarez's ruthless efficiency, and Neymar's Brazilian artistry. The numbers tell part of the story. 122 goals between them in a single season. a record that seemed as unbreakable as their on-field chemistry. But numbers can't capture the sheer joy they brought to the game, the way they made the impossible look routine. In Berlin's Olympiastadion on June 6, 2015, Neymar put the final touch on a perfect season. The following seasons brought more trophies and spectacular moments, including a second domestic double in 2016. Neymar's game evolved. He wasn't just a scorer anymore, but a complete forward, capable of both creating and finishing. His connection with Messi, in particular, seemed telepathic. They combined for goals that belonged in football's greatest highlight reels, making the extraordinary look effortless. But beneath this glittering surface, a different story was unfolding. Playing alongside Messi was both a blessing and a burden. Every magical moment shared was also a reminder that at Barcelona there could only be one king. Neymar, who had been raised to be the centerpiece of every team he played for, found himself in the unfamiliar position of being the supporting act. The pressure of being the next Pelé didn't disappear in Barcelona. It just took on a different form. The breaking point came in the summer of 2017, Messi's wedding of all places. Among the celebrations, Neymar shared with his teammates what many had suspected. His time at Barcelona was coming to an end. The Prince of Camp Nou was ready to seek his own kingdom, even if it meant leaving football paradise. It was a decision that would shake the football world to its core. August 3rd, 2017, marked the day football's economic landscape changed forever, when Paris Saint-Germain announced they were triggering Neymar's €222 million release clause. It sent shockwaves through the sport. The transfer fee was more than double the previous world record, shattering the ceiling of what seemed possible in football economics. The reaction was seismic. In Paris, fans gathered by the thousands, transforming the city into a carnival of anticipation. Meanwhile, in Barcelona, heartbroken supporters burned their number 11 jerseys, feeling betrayed by a player they had embraced as their own. The contrast couldn't have been starker. One city celebrating a revolution, another mourning a rebellion. Neymar's arrival at the Parc des Princes came with expectations as enormous as his price tag. PSG didn't just want a superstar, they wanted a transformative figure who could elevate them from French dominance to European supremacy. His number 10 shirt, offered as a welcome gift by Javier Pastore, symbolized his new status as the undisputed king of his domain. The Brazilian's debut season started like a fairy tale. His first appearance against Guingamp was a masterclass in everything PSG had paid for: a goal, an assist, and moments of pure magic that had French football purring. "People think that leaving Barca is to die," he declared after the match, "but I'm more alive than ever." 28 goals in 30 matches followed, suggesting that PSG's investment might actually have been a bargain. But football has a way of writing its own scripts. February 2018 brought the first major twist, a fractured metatarsal that not only ended his season but threatened his World Cup dreams. It was the beginning of a pattern that would haunt his PSG career. Brilliance interrupted by injury, momentum halted by misfortune. The club's quest for Champions League glory became intertwined with Neymar's availability, creating a narrative of what-ifs and near misses. The 2019-20 season seemed destined to be different. PSG finally reached the Champions League final, with Neymar at his influential best. But in Lisbon, Bayern Munich played the role of spoiler, winning 1-0 in a game that left Neymar in tears. The image of sporting director Leonardo consoling him after the final whistle captured the weight of expectations and dreams deferred. For all his individual brilliance, he would eventually score 118 goals in 173 matches for PSG. The ultimate European glory remained elusive. But long before the record-breaking transfers and European glory, there was another story unfolding, one written in yellow and green. For while clubs could buy his services, Neymar's heart had always belonged to one team above all others, carrying the weight of the nation. When an 18-year-old Neymar pulled on that hallowed yellow shirt for the first time against the United States in 2010, he was inheriting more than just a number. This was the shirt of Pelé, of Zico, of Rivaldo, legends who had turned football into art. His debut goal that day, a precise header after just 28 minutes, seemed to announce that here, finally, was Brazil's next chosen one. The journey to that moment had been years in the making. Back in 2010, when Brazil prepared for the World Cup in South Africa, a nationwide campaign had called for the teenage Neymar's inclusion. Over 14,000 fans signed a petition, but coach Dunga stood firm in his decision to leave the prodigy at home. It was a decision that would haunt Brazilian football, especially as they crashed out to the Netherlands in the quarter-finals. But it was the 2014 World Cup that was meant to be Neymar's true coronation. On home soil, Brazil wasn't just hosting a tournament, they were attempting to exorcise the ghosts of the 1950 Maracanazo. The weight on Neymar's 22-year-old shoulders was immense, but initially he seemed to thrive under it. 4 goals in the group stage showed a player rising to the occasion, not buckling under it. His penalty against Chile in the round of 16 shootout displayed nerves of steel when his nation needed them most. The image of Neymar being stretchered off became symbolic of Brazil's dreams being carried away. The 7-1 demolition by Germany in the semi-final that followed wasn't just a defeat, it was a national trauma made more acute by the absence of their talisman. Redemption, when it came, arrived in the most poetic fashion. The 2016 Olympics in Rio presented Brazil with a chance to win the one football trophy that had always eluded them. In the final, facing Germany of all teams, Neymar carried the hopes of 200 million people. His free kick to open the scoring was perfect, but it was in the penalty shootout where destiny awaited. As he stepped up to take the decisive kick, the Maracana fell silent. The weight of history, of expectation, of redemption, all rested on his shoulders. The ball hit the net and Neymar collapsed in tears. Olympic gold, finally, was Brazil's. The years that followed brought both triumph and tribulation. The 2018 World Cup saw Neymar become a figure of global controversy, his theatrical reactions to fouls overshadowing his undoubted talent. But by the 2021 Copa America, we witnessed a different Neymar, mature, focused, leading by example. Even in defeat to Argentina in the final, his performances alongside Messi earned him joint player of the tournament honors. September 2023 brought perhaps his greatest achievement in the yellow shirt, surpassing Pelé's record of 77 goals for Brazil. It was a moment that should have been pure celebration, but football's cruel script had other ideas. Weeks later, in a World Cup qualifier against Uruguay, a torn ACL turned triumph to tragedy once again. It was a reminder that in Brazilian football, joy and pain are eternal dance partners. As Neymar cemented his place in Brazilian football history, surpassing even the great Pelé's scoring record, a new chapter was about to begin. The Saudi chapter of August 2023 opened what many considered an unlikely chapter in Neymar's story. The arrival of Al Hilal, with their €90 million offer to PSG and staggering €150 million annual salary proposal, sparked intense debate in the football world. Was this the end of a dream or the beginning of a new kind of football revolution? For a player who had spent his career chasing the shadows of Messi and Ronaldo in Europe, the move to Saudi Arabia seemed either an admission of defeat or a bold redefinition of what success could mean in modern football. The transfer wasn't just about money, though the numbers were astronomical even by modern standards. It represented a shifting of football's tectonic plates. Neymar wasn't just joining any Saudi club. He was following in the footsteps of Cristiano Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, helping to reshape the global football landscape. His declaration that "I wouldn't be surprised if the Saudi league is better than the French" wasn't just bravado, it was a challenge to traditional football hierarchies. Al Hilal presented Neymar as more than just a player. He was a symbol of their ambition to transform Saudi football. The club's history with Brazilian stars wasn't new. They had signed Rivellino in 1978, but Neymar's arrival at the peak of his career carried different implications. The pressure to deliver was immense. Not just for Neymar, for the entire Saudi Pro League project. His debut promised everything the Saudi audience had hoped for. In a 6-1 victory, Neymar displayed flashes of the magic that had made him one of football's most captivating performers. The assist he provided to fellow Brazilian Malcolm showed that the skills hadn't diminished, even if the stage had changed. The Saudi fans got a glimpse of what they had paid for, a footballer who could turn a match into a spectacle. But just as this new chapter was beginning to unfold, fate intervened with cruel timing. The ACL injury suffered while playing for Brazil in October 2023 didn't just halt Neymar's Saudi adventure, it forced Al Hilal to temporarily deregister him, bringing in Renan Lodi as his replacement. It was a harsh reminder that even in this new frontier, the old challenges remained. From the streets of São Paulo to the glittering lights of Paris, from the sacred yellow of Brazil to the newfound riches of Saudi Arabia, Neymar's journey reads like a modern football fairy tale. But unlike most fairy tales, this one's ending is still being written, and its moral is far from clear. He's one of the few players to score 100 goals for 3 different clubs. He's Brazil's all-time top scorer. He's won almost everything there is to win in club football. Yet the debate rages on. Did Neymar fulfill his destiny as the heir to Pelé and Ronaldo, or did he become something else entirely? A sublime talent who chose his own path, commercial success, and personal happiness over the traditional route to footballing immortality. Some call him Prince who never became king. Others see him as a revolutionary who changed how the world values footballers. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between, in the smile of a boy from São Paulo who just wanted to play beautiful football, who achieved almost everything, but whose story will forever be punctuated with what-ifs. The injuries, the transfers, the controversies, they're all part of a legacy that defies simple categorization. Neymar may not have become the king everyone expected, but he created his own realm, played by his own rules, and left an indelible mark on the beautiful game. In the end, maybe that's exactly the legacy he was meant to leave.